I want to get Sherbert Mux fighting Arthur now. This is all your fault, Blue! He asked for Sherbert! You weren't here! Oh, medium armor leveled up, nice. Eat more chicken! It's okay, I'm pretty sure I can beat this by spamming the same 2 skills I've been using through the whole game. Could have turned him into cheese. Take his summons out early? I did, he resummoned them immediately. I think he, yeah, see, he just made them again. I think he just replaces them. So I think it's better just to hit him, and if possible, cleave them too, but he's just gonna resummon them. Unless you're giving him advice, and you're telling him to take out my summons early, in which case, rude. I feel like I'm gonna accidentally get some super evil ending. Unless I'm a good king. Whee! Dude, he goes flying.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command.
Yeah!
Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided.
And I got 2 extra
to try.
arms.
It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself.
Now I just need everyone
resolute,
to listen to me.
Untested.
You know? Just the easy part remaining.
Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. The men here stayed in Kuanacht, but Yvain failed to rally the minds and hearts needed for his Grail quest. With no clear leaders and rising tension, both Kuanacht and Camelot grew fragile,
anything but the
drifting
axe.
toward division, with no one left to hold
Thank
the
you.
line. You awakened the giants, only to command their end, leaving no power behind for either side to claim. Without their strength, the balance held, but the divide between Camelot and the Dal Rita remained, wide, bitter, and far from settled. Firgas remained captain of the Horns of the South. Under his leadership, the Horns honored their old traditions and returned under Camelot's banner, securing order along the southern frontier. Nianta left Kuanacht with Yvain.
Oh, that was
and her
Niantic.
fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Maggot chose to remain in Kuanacht, and the people stayed with him. Over time, they grew to trust him and often
The
sought his
people
wisdom.
stayed with him? He lived in his own little
In
hut.
time, he took on an apprentice, planting the first seeds of a new druidic tradition. Oeuvre left Kuanacht alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life and spoke of him with lasting respect. Ailey turned to the merchants for support, and for a time the hospital prospered. But when they began charging patients for care, she walked away and opened her own small practice, refusing to serve profit over healing. Killian served as quartermaster of the Horns of the South, until one night his thirst for blood drove him to murder a fellow keeper. He was caught in the act and brought to a swift end.
His thirst for blood. What? That's the end? CEO taking all the credit, but only if it's good. Okay. Do you wish to return to the moment before your final journey? No, I'm good. Okay. Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon endings. Let's see. Okay, what do we got here? Not recommended for players in the mid-game, but this guide discusses all endings in the game, including secret endings. The Weaver ending, good ending. By uncovering the truth buried in the weirdness and returning Arthur to where he truly belonged, you end the cycle of pain and close the wound in the world. The Red Death is halted, the heart of the Four Dwellers stops bleeding, and Avalon enters a new era where the weirdness is no longer feared but understood. What the hell? How do you do all of that? What? Uncover the truth of the weirdness. What? Where? Return Arthur where he belonged. Where? End the cycle of pain and close the wound in the world. How? You halt the Red Death. How? The heart of the Four Dwellers stops bleeding. What is that? Avalon enters a new era where the weirdness no longer feared but understood. Like, what? This is like a grocery list of things. I had no idea you could do any of this. I knew it, you skipped a lot. I skipped a lot in the final zone, not in the first two zones. The Orin ending. Give everything to restore the king. Through your sacrifice, Arthur returns whole, ascends to the throne and rules again. Whether this brings salvation or ruin is uncertain, but your death is marked by peace and the certainty of your choice. Take the power for yourself. You reject all the others that claim Arthur's power as your own. You don't become Arthur, you rule as yourself. Flawed but resolute. Avalon changes in your hand for better or for worse. Give it to another. Instead of using Arthur's power for yourself, you can give it to another person, shaping Avalon's future through your chosen successor. This path has multiple endings. Captain Brandon, he's dead. A secular Avalon focused on autonomy and trade. Faith declines, progress grows, ambition rises. Effort the Blacksmith, a society without rules where all contribute equally. Old elites who want to influence from the shadows. Lord Yvain, a failed leader leads to chaos and disillusionment. One Eye, the Round Table's dissolved, Avalon unifies under Dalrita law, tribal strength rises but not without turmoil. Gerfaner, a shift in power to Matar minds, unification attempts succeed in part, but Camelot resists change. Fianola, Avalon embraces the weirdness, a new life begins, but not all are willing to give up their humanity. Self, Child of Morgan ending. Avalon falls under total control, peace and order reign, but so does tyranny. Beggar ending, secret bad ending, very bad ending. You give Arthur's soul to a beggar, a final insult to fate. With no direction, Avalon crumbles to ruin. Some guy's like, can I have money? Also, I'm the king. Like, yeah, okay, guy. All 12 if you want it. I just want to see the good one. Let me see. I want to use the life spindle.
And return to his mother. The heart shall cease its bleeding. Through his ascension, the weirdness will be tamed.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
Wait, what? Wow. He was level 70. Okay, I was like 30 something. He just went slurp, 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 dead.
In the weirdness and used it to return Arthur to where he truly belonged.
Where did he
ending
truly
the cycle
belong?
and securing Avalon's future. The four-dweller
He got himself a
mother's
four-armed
heart,
girlfriend.
no longer bleeding, sealed the wound in the world. And with
What
it,
is the four-dweller mother's heart?
ended the Red Death that had stolen so many lives. And so, the legend of King Arthur began to fade. In its place grew a stronger Avalon, where the weirdness was no longer feared, but understood.
You may have missed a lot. Yeah, I got that. The thing is like, I did play it for 31 hours. And I'm blown away at how much of this I'm not getting. You know? Like, I'm absolutely blown away. As it's like, okay, the Four Dwellers, all I know about them is they're those big spooky forearm guys. That's it. I don't know anything else about them. You did speedrun Acts 2 and 3. No, we did almost everything I could find in Act 1 and 2. There were some side quests I couldn't find the solution for, but Act 3 was the only one that I skimmed. And there was a reason for it. Let's see. I know the secret ending involves opening up certain areas after collecting pieces of Arthur's soul. I found one in Act 1 that has a stone with an Excalibur on it. You can only open it after getting Excalibur. Yeah, so maybe you had to find, like, all of the Knights' tombs or something. Let's see. Google says 50, 80 hours for best ending. Okie dokie. Well. Great music. However, every single night I play this, I get like 5 to 10 DMCAs. So, post-game thoughts. Now, first of all, why did I just skim through the rest of, like, the ending? Bottom line, I have mentioned this before, there are two things that keep me going when I am playing a game on stream, as I am a content creator. Thing number one, am I having fun? Yeah, I was having fun with this. Thing number two, how's the viewership? Unfortunately, with Tainted Grail, viewership declined significantly. At the very least, my community, those of you that are here right now, are the diehards, the diehard veterans. But my community as a whole didn't seem to care for this game. There was massive decline in number of viewers when I was playing this. On top of that, the fact that I was getting, 5 to 10 DMCAs per night, it was a lot. So, like, after about halfway through the game, I just kind of wanted to wrap it up. And that's why when we got to the third act, and the guy was like, hey, unite all the tribes, or just try this dungeon. I was like, I'm just going to try the dungeon. And then I got in there, and it was just like fireball, 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 and it was taking forever. Like, the mobs had nothing that they would do if you harassed them from range. They just they just walked toward you or fought your summons. There was no punishment for just staying back and shooting. And that's a shame. They were not that intelligent. So just because they was like damage spongy, I turned the difficulty down today just to wrap it up. So there was a lot of better spells. That was another thing, is like I had a trait that supposedly for every point of spirituality increases my summon strength by 5%. I could not notice it. They should have been like 300% stronger than they were because of that, but I could not notice it. As far as there being a lot better spells, I'm sure there were. It also felt like very lucky. Like you had to like run around and find a better spell and like almost get lucky with it. Like, oh, thank God this dungeon had one, or oh, thank God this merchant had one, to be able to get like better ones. I never bothered with the summons. Yeah, that's another thing. The summons in the game, sometimes they were pretty good, and other times they were the stupidest freaking things. They were very frustrating. Now, we played the game through the launch patch, where you had collision with your summons. Then the first patch removed collision with your summons, so you could move through them. And then the next patch added it back. I don't know if that was a bug or not, so now I'm colliding with them again. They'd constantly spawn in front of you while you were running, and you'd bump into them. And also, they would appear in every cutscene spinning, which was really stupid and broke immersion. It wasn't terrible. Like, they were okay. It wasn't terrible. I liked that you could click the spell once to send them to attack whatever's in front of you, or just hold the button to replace them. The thing that unsummoned them was terribly set up. You had to hit them with it like a skill shot. So if they were stuck somewhere underground, you couldn't unsummon them with the unsummon spell. So you would need to, resummon them until you were max capacity again, or you would have to like find somewhere you could rest, make a bonfire, and wait an hour to get them to despawn. So there was a lot of problems with the summon system. It was okay. I've played games with worse summons, but I've played games with a lot better ones too. Like, the music was fantastic, but as a content creator, it was an abusive relationship because they were hitting me multiple times a day. So I would say the music of the game is great, is wonderful. The graphics were really cool. The summons spinning in all the cutscenes definitely took away from like appreciating the world bending, but the graphics were quite nice. The story, I realize that in the Act 3, I kind of rushed through it. But even still, it wasn't as cryptic as like Elden Ring, where I need to listen to some guy on YouTube explain it to me for an hour afterward to understand it. But it was still pretty freaking cryptic. I understood it far less than I understood like Oblivion while playing Oblivion, or Skyrim while playing Skyrim. There was a setting that you could turn off copyrighted music. We looked for that during one of the early streams, and I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. In any case, it happened. It's done. But yeah, I mean, I had fun with it. The game was enjoyable. I would recommend this in the future to anyone who's like, hey, I liked Oblivion, or I like Skyrim. Do you have any other games you'd recommend to me? I would recommend Tainted Grail, but it definitely does some things better, and it definitely does some things worse. I think it's kind of cool that you can wear equipment even if you don't meet the requirements, but, it's worse, than that. And if you have more than the requirements, it's better. Yeah, you did miss it. It was in the first page of settings at the bottom. Okay, fine. So, yeah. And that's it. That's it. So, like I said, it was a fun game. I did enjoy it. On my own time, I might wrap up more of the side stuff. I'm not sure. But I did just... because of the viewership, I felt like I needed to just wrap this one up and then move on. But it was a fun game. I did like it. Let's see. I would say this feels like a great $40 game. 50 tops. How much is this? It's 45. Okay. So I would say it's right there for, like, if I did, like, an is it worth it video for this, it's right there. I would definitely say, like, not more than 50. Just because of, like, all of the little issues that we had, for sure. But yeah, I had fun. And you know what? I hope some of you enjoyed it too.